Aaron Lane. I am the branch manager for Penske Truck Leasing here in Tacoma. Been with the company for a little bit over 11 years now. And as a branch manager, my primary focus is on new and ad business, so sales. I would say about 80% of what I do is focused around sales. With the other 20% is being an operation or location manager. Well, I first started off at Southern University in Baton Rouge, 96 to 99 is when I went to school there, and I studied marketing. At the time, I really didn't know if marketing would be the major that I would end up getting a degree in, but management was more my style. But as I progressed in my school of business, I found that marketing was better suited for my skills. So to be perfectly honest with you, I had no idea about adulthood and in terms of how we know it now. I knew I wanted a career. I knew I wanted a good paying job. And I knew I wanted to be with one company for my career. It didn't happen that way. In terms of who helped me influence some of my decisions to take, certain paths, surprisingly, it was my uncle. Uncle that I lived with in New Mexico, and he really challenged me to take courses outside of the norm. And I thought I was going to end up going to New Mexico State, but I didn't do that. But while I was there, my senior year of high school, he, you know, persuaded me to take, advanced math courses. It's somewhat ironic now that, when I was going through those advanced math courses, I didn't know how much it could be linked to what I'm doing now. And it was quite the journey, I'll tell you. Uh, I had the opportunity to have an internship. So my sophomore, junior, and senior years, I spent the summers up in Cincinnati doing market research. So I was, kind of doing some things that would prepare me for my career. It's a valuable experience. So I had a setback in terms of me not getting the job that I wanted. I got an offer from Procter& Gamble, but it wasn't what I wanted to do. So I took a break away from, the job search, and I entered the Army. And one of the reasons why I entered the Army is because I knew I had a college loan that I had to repay. I wasn't financially prepared to take on that type of responsibility, so I had to go and let Uncle Sam kind of help me out. But it wasn't all about him taking care of that, but I also wanted to gain some different experience, a little bit out of the box based on what I've done up until that point. Um, I finished the military in 2004, got out and did some temp work. So that was in Dallas. I worked there for a summer. And then I came back up to Seattle where I started working in the transportation industry. You really mentioned a great point. You look back at it on the end of the day, because success is, things that you build up to, and you're able to look back and see, where you come from to where you are now and where you're headed. So the things that I always try to keep in mind are, just do right by people. There's a saying that I always refer back to, and that is experience is what you get when you didn't get what you wanted. And so when I look at that, and I learn from the mistakes that I made, learning from those mistakes have led to a lot of success for me. I just think that what could I've done better uh, today that I didn't do the day before. Back in 2012, did the quality management program. When I came out, quite naturally, my progression would be to get back into sales and in the business side of it. But I chose to go into maintenance, and that's something very rare based on someone of my skill set. But I did it because I wanted to learn something about the business that I hadn't before. And I knew that I was going to fail. I have the college experience, I have the business experience, and that didn't translate well to technicians on the floor. I mean, they still viewed me as a city slicker, a guy that usually comes in with a button down shirt and slacks and a sports jacket on. Now here he is out on the shop floor working with technicians. Um, so I knew that there was going to be somewhat of some failure, but what I learned in the end was, you know, once they saw that my true intent was to learn about the business and find out what really made them tick and how they were able to resolve situations, but taught me a whole lot more about not only myself, but the company as well. So I ventured out of my comfort zone, knowing that there was going to be a certain amount of failure that I'd have to overcome. But it was probably one of the best decisions that I've made career wise. I enjoy what I do because, first of all, I make a lot of money doing it. Uh, that was something that I'd always had in the back of my mind. What job could I get that would pay me very well? I also like this company because I'm empowered to make decisions independently of my manager. Which some decisions are the best decisions, some aren't so good, but I learn from them. So, and it's constantly a learning experience for me, and it keeps me energized, it keeps me fresh, it keeps me motivated to be able to learn more. I'm gonna go way back. When I was a senior in high school in New Mexico, I made all state symphony. It made me feel like anything was possible. Being able to obtain my degree from college, that was huge for me because I was the first in my family, in my immediate family, to do so. I was faced with a very difficult decision early in my career. Um, I was working for a competitor in El Paso, Texas, and it wasn't what I imagined it was going to be. So before I got to the point to where I just hated coming into work or just had a sense of, this isn't for me. So I made the decision to put in my 2 weeks notice. Okay. And that caused a lot of fear. I spent a lot of nights thinking about how I would do it and if I would do it. And when that day finally came, I made that decision. And it's probably one of the best decisions I made because since then I've been with this company, with Penske, for 11 years and enjoying every year of it.